There are preppers who spend thousands on emergency food only to throw it all away 3 years later. This is the harsh reality of food stockpile maintenance that nobody wants to discuss. Up to 40% of emergency food supplies go to waste because people treat their stockpiles like time capsules instead of living systems. Think about it. You have invested time, money, and effort into building your emergency food supply. You have calculated calories, balanced nutrients, and carefully stored everything. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Without a proper rotation system, you are not building security, you are creating an expensive compost pile. The numbers are staggering. The average American household already wastes $1,500 worth of food every year. Add in neglected emergency stockpiles, and that number can double or triple. We are talking about $408 billion in annual food waste across the United States, and a significant chunk of that comes from forgotten preparedness supplies. Why does this happen? Simple. Most preppers suffer from what I call acquisition addiction. We love buying, storing, and organizing. We get that dopamine hit from adding another case of canned goods or scoring a deal on freeze-dried meals. But maintenance, rotation, that is boring. That is work. And that is exactly why 73% of preppers do not have any formal rotation system at all. Let me paint you a picture of what happens without rotation. You store cans in 2024. By 2027, they are pushed to the back. By 2030, you have forgotten they exist. By 2035, you finally remember them during a real emergency, only to discover they are bulging, rusted, or simply inedible. Your insurance policy just became hazardous waste. The solution is not complicated, but it does require a mindset shift. The Mormon Church figured this out back in the 1930s with a simple principle: store what you eat what you store. This is not just a catchy phrase. It is the foundation of sustainable preparedness. Here is what actually works. First, you need to understand shelf life reality, not shelf life fantasy. Those dates on cans, they are quality indicators, not expiration dates. Properly stored white rice can last 30 years. Honey and salt are basically immortal. That jar of peanut butter lasts 6 to 9 months after opening. The cooking oils you stockpiled last 2 years unopened, and every 10 degrees Fahrenheit above 70 cuts that time in half. Canned goods typically last 2 to 5 years past their best buy date if stored properly. Freeze-dried meals can maintain quality for 25 to 30 years. MRES give you 3 to 5 years at room temperature. But here's the thing. These are optimal numbers. Your garage that hits 95 degrees in summer is not optimal. That damp basement is definitely not optimal. The military learned this the hard way. They discovered that MERES stored in Iraqi heat lasted months, not years. Same product, different environment, drastically different results. Temperature is the silent killer of food storage. Every 10 degrees above optimal storage temperature cuts shelf life in half. Do the math on your 90-degree garage, and those 5-year cans become 1-year cans. Now let's talk about rotation systems that actually work in the real world. FIFO, first in, first out. It's not sexy, but it's effective. Grocery stores use it, restaurants use it, and if you want to avoid waste, you need to use it too. Here's how to implement FIFO without losing your mind. Physical organization comes first. New items go in the back, old items stay in front. Use can racks that automatically feed older items forward. Label everything with the date you stored it, not just the date on the package. A simple Sharpie marker becomes your best friend. But physical organization is only half the battle. You need a tracking system. This can be as simple as a notebook or as complex as a smartphone app. The key is consistency. Log what goes in, log what comes out, and review regularly. Some people use spreadsheets. Others prefer apps like Pantry Check or Still Tasty. The best system is the one you will actually use. Creating a rotation schedule isn't about rigid rules. It's about sustainable habits. Every 6 months, audit your stockpile. Check dates, inspect cans for damage, and plan meals using older items. Make it an event. Some preppers call it rotation weekend and turn it into meal prep sessions. Here is a practical approach. Integrate your stockpile into your regular meal planning. That case of canned tomatoes isn't just for the apocalypse. It's for next Tuesday's pasta sauce. Those freeze-dried vegetables work great in everyday soups. By using your stockpile regularly, you accomplish two things. You rotate automatically, and you learn what you actually like eating before an emergency forces the issue. The working pantry concept takes this further. Instead of keeping separate emergency storage, you maintain one large pantry that serves both daily needs and emergency preparedness. You shop to replenish what you have used, automatically rotating stock. It is elegant in its simplicity. But what about those 25-year freeze-dried foods? Do they need rotation too? Here is where nuance matters. While they will not spoil, nutritional value does degrade over time. Vitamins break down, fats oxidize. That 25-year meal might be safe to eat, but nutritionally inferior. Smart preppers rotate even long-term storage every 10 to 15 years. Let us address the elephant in the room: cost. Some people argue that rotation is expensive and that it is cheaper to let some items expire. This is short-sighted thinking. Remember that $1,500 in average food waste? A good rotation system can cut that to nearly zero. You are not spending extra money, you are redirecting money you are already spending on groceries. Community solutions can help too. Many areas now have prepper swap meets where people trade items approaching expiration. Online groups coordinate bulk buys and rotation schedules. Some communities even organize expiration potlucks where everyone brings dishes made from soon-to-expire stockpile items. Modern technology is making rotation easier. QR code systems let you scan items in and out. Smart shelving can track weight changes and estimate consumption. Some apps now integrate with meal planning software, automatically suggesting recipes based on what needs to be used first. The future of food storage is intelligent rotation, but technology isn't required. The LDS Church has managed massive food storage programs for nearly a century using simple paper systems. What matters is consistency and commitment, not complexity. Let me share some hard truths about rotation failure. It is not just about waste, it is about safety. Botulism does not care about your good intentions. Spoiled food in an emergency is not just useless, it is dangerous. A bulging can is not just wasted money, it can be a potential hospital visit when medical care might be unavailable. Common rotation mistakes include the set it and forget it mentality, storing foods you do not normally eat, poor temperature control, and ignoring moisture damage. Each of these can turn your stockpile from asset to liability. Here's what successful rotation looks like in practice. You maintain a diverse stockpile integrated with daily meals. You track dates and conditions consistently. You store foods in climate-controlled spaces when possible. You practice using emergency foods in non-emergency situations. You view rotation not as a chore, but as an investment in readiness. The payoff is substantial. Successful rotation means you always have fresh supplies. You save money by eliminating waste. You gain confidence knowing your food is safe and nutritious. You develop practical experience using your supplies. And perhaps most importantly, you build sustainable preparedness habits that last a lifetime. Remember, rotation is insurance for your insurance. Every can you rotate is a can that will be there when you need it. Every expired item you prevent is money saved and safety preserved. This is not about perfection, it is about progress. Start small. Rotate one shelf, track one category, build from there. A can of food forgotten is a can of food wasted. I prefer to think of it differently. A can of food rotated is security guaranteed. Your stockpile is not a museum exhibit. It is a living system that requires attention, care, and yes, rotation. The choice is simple, but start. You can be part of 73% who hope their forgotten stockpile will magically be edible when needed. Or you can join the prepared minority who knows exactly what they have, when it expires, and how to use it. The difference between the two is not knowledge, it is action. Rotate or waste. The choice is yours. But now you know why rotation is not just important, it is essential. Your future self, facing an actual emergency with fresh, safe, nutritious food, will thank you for the boring maintenance you do today. Because in the end, the best emergency food is the food that is actually edible when an emergency strikes.